Welcome to episode 19 of the Amiibo Newscast. This week's guest is me. And here are your hosts, Lauren and Amiibo Jason.
Good evening, Amiibo and Nintendo fans. Welcome to episode 19 of the Amiibo Newscast. I am your host, as always, Amiibo Jason, and I am with my partner in crime, the better half of Amiibo News and Nintendo Inquirer,
Lauren, also known as Happily Candied, and you are right, I am the better half of this team.
I was being courteous. I don't really necessarily mean that.
I'm being honest.
Yeah, whatever. It's a special night. I just want to point out it's a special night for a few reasons here. We have so much content to cover tonight. Nintendo pulled kind of like a mini direct without having a Nintendo Direct, and they released like the floodgates on Nintendo info for the rest of the year, which is outstanding. So that's number one of the reasons why I'm happy. The second reason I'm ecstatic tonight is my boy, my brother from another mother, Jared Ruthledge, the voice at the beginning of the show, is back on the newscast. How's it going, Jared?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Not a lot, except for the heap of Nintendo content we have. So I guess I should say a lot. More importantly, how are you? It's been probably, 10 episodes since we've had you on?
Yeah, no, it's been a little while, but I'm really excited to be able to be back on.
So what have you been up to? So I know that I've heard rumors that you're going to be on a episode of Smash Supremacy coming up soon. So I just want to see if that's happening still.
Yeah, I believe I'm set to be on the next episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really hope you guys are able to watch that one.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, we're going to watch it.
Oh, yeah. We're going to set aside a special block of time just to do that. I always have a good time hearing people, especially people I know.
All right, perfect.
So Jared has been part of the show since episode 1. He has recorded every single intro that we've done for the show since we've started the Amiibo Newscast. So having him on is outstandingly cool. We had the opportunity to meet him at E3 earlier this year, which was outstanding as well. And he's a great voice actor.
Yeah, I'm consistently impressed with the number of voices that he can do. The way he can morph his voice into various characters is incredible. And the fact that he can alter it so much for our intro, it shocks me every single time I hear the new bit that he does for us. So
many people really think that you are the voice of the announcer on Smash Brothers. Yeah. So that has to be a good feeling.
Aw, shucks. I don't even know. It was really cool to be able to just try that for the first time, I guess, you know. So I'm really glad that I got accepted on as part of the team.
So I think I've told this story when we first started the newscast, and we have so many new listeners since we started that. So I got to tell it again. So I got a tweet from Jared right when I announced I was going to be doing a podcast, and he said, "Hey, I do voices. I do a decent Smash Brothers announcer," and he essentially sent me a sound clip. And I was blown away. I'm like, this guy is the Smash Brothers announcer. I thought for sure that I was being like completely trolled by him, thinking that he is the voice of the Smash announcer. Xander, what's his last name?
Mobus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought for sure, I'm like, why is Xander messing with me right now? It's insane. So yeah, from that moment on, I knew that we had to have him on as a regular part of the show.
Well, that was a good call on your part. And thanks, Jared, for reaching out and just asking him about that. I think the show really wouldn't be the same without you here.
Dude, the intro is the best part of the show. Not us.
Yeah, forget the content or anything like that.
The content? So
I think. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Just thanks for giving me the opportunity. It was really great.
For sure. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to get started with just some of the Amiibo content first. There was other content, too, that was announced. Lots of release dates for Nintendo IPs that are going to be coming out from now into the end of this year. But I think I want to start here with one of the most controversial announcements, and that's the Super Mario Maker Wii U Deluxe set. So if you don't know about this at this point, the Wii U Super Mario Maker Deluxe set is a bundle of a Wii U system, 32 gigs, a copy of Mario Maker, a copy of an art book, and a copy of the what was this one? The modern 8-bit Mario Amiibo.
Yep.
So the controversy at this point is this is the only way in the United States at launch that you can get this Amiibo. And I know people on Twitter that have said, I bought one of these bundles just for the Amiibo.
And would you tell us exactly how much this bundle costs?
$300.
$300 for basically for the Amiibo.
So it's $299.96. So let's be specific here at this point. So it's going up. It's a Walmart exclusive. It's already up for pre-order at walmart.com. It's going to be in stores on the 11th of September alongside the other Amiibo coming out that day and Super Mario Maker. Oh, this one's hard. I'm not necessarily upset with bundles because they announced other like bundled Amiibo, like the Chibi Robo Amiibo is exclusive to that bundle.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, when you say there's a bundle coming out, I'm okay with it. This one, I think I might have to draw a line in the sand on.
The price alone.
Yeah,
it's the price
for sure.
alone. And the fact that most people, especially people who are into Amiibo, they already have Wii U systems.
Yeah.
So they have to go out of their way now to get a second Wii U system just for the Amiibo.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Or
a
they have to
problem.
import it.
Yeah.
And we talked about importing this like crazy before.
Yeah.
In fact, this one up on Play Asia earlier today, and I ended up snagging one. Thank God. I thought for sure I was gonna have to like buy one of these consoles. I kind of want the box is super cool, but you know me. I mean, if you listen to the show, I am the most insane Amiibo collector out there. Maybe not the most insane, but it's up there.
It's up there.
You know, thank you.
Thank you, Jared.
Even I don't know if I could stomach getting it this way. Jared, what's your opinion on this being, at least at this point, it's a timed exclusive. So there's no indication that it's going to be in this bundle forever. But do you think that this was some sort of like a setup on, at least on Nintendo's part, to get people to buy extra consoles?
Yeah. Well, I don't necessarily know if they were trying to sell multiple consoles to the same people necessarily, but in the first place, I don't feel like Super Mario Maker itself would be enough to sell Wii U consoles. I feel like if you're a big enough fan of the Mario series and of the concept of Super Mario Maker, you'll already have a Wii U. I'm not necessarily saying that everyone who is a fan of it already has a Wii U, but I don't feel like this game is strong enough to be one of the contenders to sell consoles. So I don't feel like this bundle is necessarily needed in a way.
Yeah. So here's where I am at this point. I honestly think that they are trying to capitalize on the rabid nature of the Amiibo collector. Mm-hmm. The fact that I had to second guess myself because I had it in my cart at Walmart.com. That's how messed up I am.
That's not a surprise.
I love the box art. I love the Amiibo window. There's like a little window in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and you can see the Amiibo kind of just poking out there.
Yeah.
I want that box, man. I'm hoping that I can find someone that's buying this console that is going to toss the box, and maybe I can talk them into giving me the box. I don't think that's going to happen, but I want the box.
You know what's really funny about this? Now I'm envisioning the whole bundle box as just the Amiibo box.
Yeah.
It's the biggest Amiibo box so far.
So do I have to buy two then? One in-box, one out-box?
No. So wait, one $300 for in-box.
Mm-hmm.
And then but then
another
you just
$300.
import. No,
I'm going to just buy 2 boxes.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, why not? So here's the thing at this point. I don't think Nintendo is going to keep this Amiibo in this bundle forever. I think it's going to be very similar to what happened with Mario Party 10, where the Mario Amiibo was exclusive to that bundle for the time, at least of the release. And I think it only lasted like 2 weeks. Do you remember that?
Was it that short
It
of a
was
time?
such a short period of time.
Then yeah, that's totally possible with this one.
So I'm guessing at this point that we're going to see modern 8-bit Mario venturing outside of this bundle at some point.
Yeah.
But the rumor is that if it does venture outside, it's still going to be a Walmart exclusive.
Okay. Well, even if it is a Walmart exclusive, as long as it's outside of the box, I would be completely satisfied with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nowhere near as bad as having to pay $300 for a single Amiibo.
Yeah. And with the popularity and hype going on for this game right now, I just cannot imagine this particular Amiibo remaining rare.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Nintendo's been doing a great job getting at least a decent supply at first of Amiibo on shelves. Yeah. So Dark Pit Dark Pit was in decent supply at Best Buy, and we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
The Retro 3-pack is, for God's sakes, it's still in stock after, 2.5 weeks at this point?
Yes, it's been a while.
So I think Nintendo is going to have a decent supply of these 8-bit Mario amiibo. I think it's not just going to appeal to like kids or even collectors. I think a lot of old school Nintendo fans, even that aren't amiibo collectors now, are going to see these things and say, I'd like to have this on my desk at work.
Yeah.
It's that cool, in my opinion.
It is. It. In fact, if I saw it at first glance, I wouldn't even think it was an amiibo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most different ones that we've seen, outside of Yarn Yoshi.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. A collector's piece in itself.
Jared, have you played a Mario Maker at this point?
I have played it about 7 different times.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Impressive.
Yeah.
What's your
Just at
opinion on it,
the
by
different
way?
cons. I am extremely excited for Mario Maker. I think they did a really, really good job at taking everything that we've seen in previous Mario games and giving a new tool set to be able to use them. I do feel like there's a couple elements missing that are kind of key, like slopes and things along that line. But other than that, they did a really, really good job at it.
Yeah. And this is one of these games where I totally see this being ported over to the 3DS at some point soon.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they didn't want to do it at launch because they're trying to sell Wii U consoles with this game.
Yeah.
And I think they're trying to pull in a lot of the nostalgic, like 30 to 40-year-old, people that have kids, trying to get them like off their PS4s and Xbox Ones and get them into a Wii U. I know for me, I have a daughter, and playing this game with my daughter is going to be like the most exciting thing ever. Because I remember just sitting down with my sister when I was, 4 and 5 years old, and just playing through Super Mario Brothers like crazy all day, every day. It was an absolutely amazing time for me.
Yeah, it was one of the first games I ever played, and I was only like 3 years old at the time. And it's one of the first things that I remember holding that NES controller and playing Mario.
Yeah.
There's something about those pixels on that screen. It's a magical experience.
So the touchscreen experience with the Wii U, Nintendo knows that kids have been like trained to use touchscreens pretty much since they were born at this point. So I think that they're going to have like this old audience, like I said, early 30s, late 30s, early 40s, bringing their kids into the mix. Their kids are going to be, teaching their parents fun new tricks with the touchscreen. The parents are going to be like, oh, this is how you do this level here. I think it's going to be just this really cool way that you can just bridge the gap between generations. And Nintendo has always been outstanding with that.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait for this game to come out.
Yeah.
Have either of you played anything in the Little Big Planet franchise?
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
A little bit for me, and I've always wanted to dive more into it. I just haven't had the chance.
I was always embarrassed with my creations in that game. I was terrible. I had these grand visions of what I could do, and then I just got super bored halfway through because I couldn't get it to work. But I at least I got to play a lot of other people's worlds.
It's half the fun.
Yeah, I feel like Nintendo really took it in the right direction, taking some of the ideas from Little Big Planet of being able to make your own levels and then share them, but applying it to Mario. So then every day you're turning on your game and going into an infinite supply of Mario levels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And people already feel connected to this particular character. And then by extension, all the Amiibo characters that we're going to be getting from it. So it's pulling all these fan bases into one game.
Mm-hmm.
And the Amiibo support on this, and I kind of want to touch on this real quick too. We had the opportunity to play the final build of Mario Maker not too long ago, and we had a slew of Amiibos with us. And I know we can't talk about all of them at this point, but a lot of the Animal Crossing cards worked.
Yes.
Surprisingly enough.
I was really, really surprised with the number that worked, and I've got to say they're extra adorable when they're 8-bit.
Yeah.
Extra adorable. Like, I could not get enough of them.
So if you're collecting these at this point, honestly, they come out in the States on the 25th of September anyway. But if you have a Japanese like collection of these cards like we do, just start scanning your cards in and see what sticks.
Yeah.
They're really, really cool.
Yeah, I've been thoroughly impressed with the amount of Amiibo that are compatible with this game, especially the Pokemon Amiibo, because I don't think we've really seen any support for them outside of Smash Bros.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we've said this before on other podcasts as well. Nintendo of America and the Pokemon Company have this weird relationship that I don't understand fully. And for some reason, like with Yoshi's Woolly World, when that came out in the UK, there was no amiibo costumes for any of the Pokemon characters. And from what we understood, it was because they were having some sort of disagreement with the Pokemon Company. So I'm not sure specifically why that kind of tension, is between those two companies.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of strange. It's really, really exciting to see them in Mario Maker, though.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Just seeing all of them. I'm just particularly excited about the Animal Crossing ones.
Yeah. Oh, I know you would be.
Yeah, that one, and then several others, but we can't get too much into the details of those right at this time.
So, Jared, before we move off of Super Mario Maker, did you have any closing thoughts about this game, the amiibo support?
I'm just really excited to be able to see what comes out of this game, what with the community being able to take advantage of the elements of Mario for the first time, and just being able to see the different sorry for that. The different amiibo integration. I feel like that's going to really play into some people getting into this game who typically wouldn't have before. But that will now that they can see their favorite character in a Mario level.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Definitely. Like I said, pulling in all those fan bases, bringing them together, and sharing those creative worlds. It's the best way to go for Nintendo, I think. And
if you guys want to see what this game can do, we are going to be streaming Super Mario Maker pretty much from the moment we get it until you can't really beat this game.
No.
I have a feeling we're going to be streaming this game almost every single day for a while.
Yeah, for a while.
So if you're curious about that, you can follow our adventures on NintendoInquirer.com. We're going to have everything there. And honestly, it's going to be a blast. We're also going to be having every member of the Nintendo Inquirer team, hopefully Jared as well, make a level that we're going to be uploading, and we're going to be having this Nintendo Inquirer bundle pack of levels.
Yeah.
And I want to see what Jared's going to make, because I think he's going to make something pretty epic.
Especially with all the experience that he's had already. You're much farther ahead than we are.
And you can record voices into that.
That's right.
So he is going to have some very, very cool voice recordings,
yes.
I think, too.
Oh, now I'm extra stoked for this.
So that does it for the Super Mario Maker and the Super Mario Maker Amiibo Bundle box set. So I kind of want to move on at this point to the Yoshi's Woolly World Amiibos. So if you are a crazy, ecstatic Amiibo fan like I am, you probably already have these Amiibos somewhere in your home, because you can import them at this point. You can go on Amazon.com, import these things for like $20 a piece, or you could go to Play Asia, Ami. I mean, there's so many different outlets for you to import Amiibos at this point. But we at least have some sort of concrete news on the price of these things and when they're going to be coming out. So they've officially announced that the 3 standard Yarn Yoshi Amiibo are going to be coming out on October the 16th, I believe.
Yes.
Wait, just double check that. There it is, October 16th. The green one is going to be exclusive to a bundle with the game for $60, but the other 2 are going to be essentially retailing on their own for almost $17 a piece, so $16.99. Significantly more than the other Amiibo at this point, which is surprising, to be honest. If you looked at the prices in Japan and in the UK, they were nowhere near this price. So what do you think is going on with it at this point? Do you think it's just because they are more sought after, or they're made of yarn? I mean, they are very, very cool.
My first thought was that they cost more to manufacture.
Yeah.
But then I kind of skipped over that because, like you said, in other countries, they're about the same price as other Amiibo. So that doesn't really make sense. Personally, I think it's a really great marketing tactic.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo knows how in demand these Amiibo are after seeing the success of them in other regions. So why not kind of take advantage of that couple dollar markup and have them priced higher?
What about you, Jared? What do you think on that?
Yeah, like Lauren was saying, I thought it might have been a manufacturing thing, but seeing as they were the same price, almost the same price in the other countries, it didn't really make sense. And it really makes sense for them to really capitalize on the fact that they're in high demand, because during E3 we saw they dedicated almost an entire section of the direct to these amiibo, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, they are very, very cool. They are my 3 favorite amiibo that I have had the opportunity to own at this point. I think that another amiibo that's coming out is going to be taking the title for that pretty soon, but we're going to get into that in a moment. They are very, very cool amiibo. But the fact that you can't get the green one outside of the bundle, again, is kind of mind-boggling to me in a bit, for at least for a little bit at this point. I don't understand what is going on with the massive amount of bundles and amiibos lately.
Well, it's very possible, like we talked about earlier, that maybe we'll see the green one sold separately a little after the in-box release.
Yeah.
That I don't know, just kind of like the 8-bit Mario.
And I think Nintendo is really, really trying to push the Wii U at this point. And we've talked about this with Super Mario Maker already. They are trying to get the Wii U into hands of amiibo collectors that don't have it already. And I think there are more amiibo collectors than there are Wii U owners at this point. And I think Nintendo understands and recognizes that, and they're trying to use this as a way to get people to purchase their consoles.
Yeah, it's a smart idea. I mean, it's a fun way to do it, and it appeals to various generations. So I don't know, if I was a company, I would probably want to do the same thing.
Yeah. But there you go, $17 if you want if you want the blue or the pink one. Again, October 16th, it's going to be coming out with the game Yoshi's Woolly World. If you want the green one, you got to shell out $60 to get the game and the amiibo in a separate bundle.
Yes.
So I'm happy we can move on from that piece, because this is the most exciting thing that's happened in the world of Amiibo for a while.
You've been waiting for this moment
I have.
to talk about it.
All day long.
I know.
The second they announced this thing, I knew that we were going to have a field day with it on the newscast. And I knew I had to call my boy Jared up and say, hey, you got to get on this cast with us, because this thing is way too big for just 2 people to handle. No pun intended. Mega Yarn Yoshi has been announced. This thing is huge. It towers over any other amiibo that's come out to date. It is a massive behemoth of an amiibo. It, again, towers over the other Yarn Yoshis like it's some sort of Godzilla-like creature. It's cuddly. It's cute. It can stand on 2 feet. The amiibo sensor is like embedded into one of its feet. It's so cool.
And if it's anything like the other 3 Yarn Yoshi amiibo, this thing is going to be full of quality.
Yeah.
Like, even just the promo pics alone, I am so impressed by this piece.
In love with this thing.
Yeah.
There are some promo pics of kids holding it, and it looks like a teddy bear. Like, it's big enough where I can totally see my daughter, like, taking this thing to bed with her and just cuddling up with it. If she can get it away from me, because I don't know if she could, to be honest with you at this point.
You may have to get 2 or 3.
So this is just going to beg the question from a majority of Amiibo fans at this point. Are we going to see other Mega Amiibo? This thing is huge, and it's $40. It's significantly more than any other amiibo, and honestly, it's for good reason. This thing is honestly remarkably well detailed.
Yeah,
it's adorable. It's cuddly. It's cute.
Well, I think the reason why it works is because it's made of yarn.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Are we going to actually see something made out of plastic that's this big, like with the previous amiibo?
They could totally make other amiibo in yarn too if they wanted to, or not necessarily just yarn, but plush.
Yes.
But I think this opens the door for double dipping on other amiibos too, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Yoshi amiibos at this point. Mm-hmm. So 1 less than the 7 Mario amiibos that are going to be coming out.
Ooh.
So Yoshi is kind of saturating or oversaturating the market at this point. And I'm not complaining, because I'm going to buy this thing like it's going out of style. It is so amazing on every single level. But again, $40 is not cheap.
It's not, but it's worth it for a toy this massive, this full of quality, and the fact that it's functional with the Wii U system and 3DS, possibly, who knows. I think it's worth it.
So before I go off on a major tangent here on this mega colossal Godzilla-like amiibo, because honestly, I could talk about this thing all night long. In fact, if we want to have like a 2-hour podcast on just this amiibo, we could totally do it. But I wanted to give Jared an opportunity to give his opinion on this amiibo. Do you think this is a good move for Nintendo?
Oh yeah. I think this is a great move on Nintendo's part. Honestly, when I first saw that they were releasing a Yarn Yoshi amiibo, I thought that it should have been bigger like this one, like an actual stuffed animal. So I think this is honestly one of the best things that they've done.
And honestly, I thought when they first announced the standard Yarn Yoshi amiibo, I thought they would be bigger.
Yeah.
I was actually really super surprised that they were as small as they were.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, seeing them in the glass case next to the other amiibo, it was underwhelming's the wrong word, but I figured that they would be bigger than they were.
For sure.
Definitely.
I know you, Lauren, are
Yes.
obsessed with these things too.
Yes.
So I need to get your impression of Monster Amiibo Yoshi.
Oh gosh. Well, first of all, I fell in love with the pink Yarn Yoshi at E3. In fact, way even before that, I had mine pre-ordered from the UK months in advance. And the idea of a large version of any of them is just extremely exciting. And it, like I always say, it opens doors to new possibilities. I'm really crossing my fingers for a pink version of this Yarn Yoshi. The first thing I thought of when I saw the green one was, oh my god, maybe there's going to be a pink one. So that's what I'm hoping for. As excited as I am for the green one, I'm even more hopeful that we're going to get a pink version.
And, you know, I think we might, honestly. Yeah. I think it depends on how well this one sells. And it's an amiibo that's massive, so it's going to sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
I have zero doubt that this is going to be the most popular amiibo in the line this year.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, again, as I said before, that we're going to see rushes of people out getting this thing for their kids for Christmas. I know for me personally, I want this thing bad.
No.
So yeah, honestly, I think we'll see a pink one. I think we'll see a blue one. I think Nintendo might even do like a limited edition of this thing too. But again, we have to have a conversation of, is this going to be a trend with other amiibos too? This is one thing that Skylanders and Disney Infinity have not touched yet. And that's big, cuddleable? Cuddly. Cuddleable.
Oh.
Do you see why I need an editor?
Yes.
This is why I need an editor.
I'm here at your service.
Cuddly, massive amiibos, or massive toys in general. Everything in the Toys to Life genre so far has been plastic and jagged and just not really super kid friendly.
Yeah, well, it's miniature too.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to be the next step in the Amiibo cuddly game?
Well, we already had a Kirby game that was Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I could totally see if they wanted to go in that direction, Kirby version, and Kirby and his friends. I also think, though, that with how you can scan in other Amiibo in Yoshi's Woolly World, and see them kind of become, skins on the Yoshi.
Yeah.
It kind of also gives us possibilities for other characters to be made into that yarn type of feel.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that bridge over to a cuddly version, larger version of Amiibo. So yeah, I think it's definitely possible. I would personally love to see a lot of characters turn into yarn.
So yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, the market for Nintendo plushies is huge, since they have so many different ones with the Mario line, the Zelda line, the Pokemon line. So I think if they were able to integrate those into Amiibo, that would be fantastic.
And it's not necessarily just something that gamers would want. I mean, this is something that I think we're going to see a lot of other Nintendo collectors just kind of flock to. And I think that's the nice thing that Amiibo at least has to offer in the Toys to Life genre in general. My picks at this point would be Pikachu. I would love it. And it doesn't even have to be a yarn Pikachu.
Yeah.
But I'd want it to be a little bit more solid than a standard Pikachu plush.
Yeah.
I would love to see Isabelle from the Animal Crossing series, like in a plush Amiibo format. I would love to see Kirby. I would love to see KK Slider. Nintendo could honestly turn a majority of their like cuddly animal, type characters into bigger plushes, and I think they would see a mass just a rush from fans to get them.
Definitely. It seems like they're on their way to doing that right now anyway.
So I got to point out something about the eyes on this thing. I think they're hard.
I think so, because
They're shiny.
there's a sheen to them. You can see it with the way the lighting hits the eyes. Or now that I think about it, if Nintendo wanted to get a little more detailed, it could actually be a grayish color to add depth into the eyes. But I think you're right. I think they are a hard plastic instead. But
what are the? Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just going to say it could be stitching, but just with the angle, though, it's more likely that it's going to be a hard plastic.
Yeah.
What are the eyes like on the regular Yarn Yoshi amiibo?
They're stitched on.
Yep, they're stitched on.
All right.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool, though.
I think it is, too. So we did some kind of measuring to a certain extent. This is not scientific in any way, shape, or form, but Nintendo released an image of these smaller Yoshis essentially sitting down next to the bigger ones. And what we were able to do, at least kind of figure out at this point, is the small ones are about 3 inches tall. And when we compared that in Photoshop to the size of this big one, this one should be about 7 inches tall. At least that's what we think.
Yes. Which, it doesn't sound like it's large, but when you look at it, if you take a ruler out, you'll see that in comparison to a regular size amiibo, it's significantly bigger.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. But either way, this thing is coming out on November 27th in the United States or North America. It's going to be out November 15th in the UK, from what I understand at this point. It's going to... Actually, no, I got that backwards. It's November 15th in North America. We get it first.
You get it first.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And then it's November 27th in Europe and the 28th of November in Australia and New Zealand for $40. So honestly, get your money ready, because November is going to be an absolutely insane month for Amiibo. If you thought September was going to be big, November is going to be just as big.
Wow. Well, we have something to look forward to for the rest of the year.
For sure. But yeah, I think that moves us into the next piece that's coming in November, and that's the Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival amiibos that are going to be coming out in November. So we have a little bit more information about this. So Nintendo didn't officially announce the release date of these things right away, which is kind of surprising, because when they announced all the Amiibo and Nintendo release dates yesterday, for some reason, all they have on the roadmap is holiday. But we found buried on Nintendo's site, we found an article that shows that they are indeed coming out on November 13th. And there's one thing on this that a lot of fans are not happy about. And I'm curious to see what Lauren has to say on this one, too. Yeah. But they have officially announced that there is going to be a 3-pack coming out for this. And that 3-pack is containing KK Slider, Reese, and Cyrus. So if you're not familiar with Animal Crossing, KK Slider is a guitar-playing dog. Reese is this adorable pink alpaca. And Cyrus is a blue alpaca. Alpaca? Are they alpaca?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Because you would kill me if I got that wrong.
Yes, I would.
So they are coming out in a 3-pack, and that is the only way that you can get these 3 characters. And KK Slider is, at least, it's a greatly popular character.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And in my opinion, Cyrus and Reese are not. No offense.
Oh, well, that's only because they're newer characters. KK Slider has a history in Animal Crossing. He goes way back to the original game. Reese and Cyrus are a lot like Isabelle, in that they are brand new to the game in New Leaf. So because they don't have as big of a history, they don't have as much, I guess, connection with people yet.
Yeah.
But there's still room for that. And with the way Nintendo is providing fans with merchandise with Reese and Cyrus plastered all over them, I'd say they're heading in that direction.
So let me just say this at this point. The biggest complaint we've heard about this 3-pack is all I wanted was KK Slider. I don't want these stupid alpacas.
Oh, that is depressing.
So this is where I'm thinking Nintendo went with this.
Okay.
So instead of like bundling 3, like let's say like the staples of the game at this point, they put 2 of the less popular characters with arguably the most popular character in Animal Crossing, which is KK Slider. You might say Isabelle. A lot of people say KK Slider is the most popular or the face of the series. He's been around since the first game. He is remarkably popular. He is he's a staple of the franchise.
He's a staple, but you know what? I wouldn't say that he's the face of Animal Crossing. I would say when I think of Animal Crossing, and even though I don't care for this character as much, I think of Tom Nook. I think of his face, and I think of the villager's face, like the boy that we see in like Smash Brothers. KK Slider's definitely high up on that list, and he's definitely a fan favorite. But I wouldn't say that he's the face, but he's definitely more popular, of course, than the alpacas right now.
I just totally see Nintendo like mischievously in a boardroom saying, "How are we going to sell these alpaca amiibo? I have a great idea. Let's bundle it with the most popular character in the franchise."
Well, generally online, you're going to have the people who have more negative opinions speak up over the people with positive opinions. Studies have been done to prove this. So believe it or not, there are people out there who absolutely love Reese and Cyrus, like me. And there are communities out there who do fan art of them everywhere. Also, they appeal to the new and younger generation right now. So to me, it makes sense to connect the KK Slider with the history and the longtime fans, and then bring in the newer generation who are more familiar with New Leaf.
But why not give the amiibo community the option? So separate these things into individual figures like other regions have done. So Nintendo of America said that these figures are exclusive to this set. Mm-hmm. So when they announced this for Nintendo of Europe and Nintendo of, I think it was UK, Nintendo of Europe, and Nintendo of Australia.
Well, Nintendo and Europe are Europe and
they have two separate Twitter accounts, oddly enough, because I think the Europe one actually focuses on like Europe as a whole, and the UK is only the UK.
Interesting. But I must point out though that they're all the PAL regions.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
The same region.
But they all announced that they were going to have individual amiibos for all of these. And the US seems to be the only one that's keeping these things in a 3-pack. Mm-hmm. So Jared, I want your opinion on this one too, because it's not just these 3. They also announced that Isabelle and what's his name? Digby.
Yes.
Are only going to be coming out in the Animal Crossing, what's it called? Again, why can't I remember it? Amiibo Festival.
Yeah.
Jeez. They are going to be exclusive to a bundle that's going to include those 2 figures, the game, and 3 amiibo cards. So a lot of people are saying, I don't want the game at all. I just wanted an Isabelle amiibo, and now I can't get one unless I shell out $60. So I want your opinion, Jared. Is this something that, because it's definitely a trend we are starting to see continue with Nintendo. So the Retro 3-pack is a great example of that. So you can only get those 3 amiibo in that 3-pack. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, I'm actually in the park with the people who didn't want the game, just wanted the amiibo. And it might sound a bit traitorous to say that as a fan of Animal Crossing, but I don't know. Like when they had announced the game, I was expecting, a full Animal Crossing game for the Wii U. But I don't feel like we got that in the form of Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. So I understand where people are coming from with that. On the side of the 3-pack, it does make sense since Reese and Cyrus are such new characters that they would bundle them with such a popular character. But I do feel like they should have at least given the option outside of the 3-pack.
Yeah.
It's a business decision, right?
Yes, thank you for acknowledging that, Jason.
I get that it's a business decision.
Yes, it's a smart business decision.
And I am not affected by this.
Yeah.
Because I want every amiibo. So put them in a 3-pack and charge me $2 less, and I'll be happy because that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that cannot afford to go that route. There are a lot of people that would rather buy food than buy amiibo, where I would rather buy amiibo than rather buy food because I'm just insane like that. Uh-huh. So I understand and I empathize with the people that are concerned about this, because if you look on our Twitter feed right now, a majority of the comments are, why are they doing this? For me, if I'm not super excited for Amiibo Festival at this point, I think that maybe they'll announce more functionality, like with Happy Home Designer in this game, like maybe some sort of connectivity. They've already announced that the 2 will be integrated in some way. Yep. We don't know specifics yet. I'm still holding out hope for an Animal Crossing Direct to come out before Happy Home Designer comes out.
That is what I'm on the edge of my seat for. I've been there for the last couple months. I'm still holding out for that 3DS system that Japan and Europe are both getting but I think we have to wait to see what the functionality is with these characters specifically before we can really, I don't know, get all emotional about it.
But this is the biggest issue that I have at this point. Amiibo fans are, and I've said this before, they're rabid. And they know that a lot of these things sell out to the point where if you don't pre-order right away, you're never going to get it. And Nintendo has been super quiet about Amiibo Festival, about what it's going to do.
Yeah.
But the pre-orders are live already. They're at Walmart. They were already at Toys R Us. They're already sold out at Toys R Us. So I think the only way you can get it right now is at walmart.com. And Amazon's going to be putting them up soon.
Yeah.
So people are buying this game completely blind without any like major announcement or information directly from Nintendo.
Because it's Animal Crossing.
But that's concerning to a certain extent.
Not really.
I think so.
No, it's a franchise. It's a popular franchise that appeals to all age groups, and it appeals to people all around the world. To me, it makes complete sense. It's one of those things that it draws people in. People not only want these days, they don't only want the game, they want everything the game is connected to, and that's toys, and that's books, magazines. Now we have the Amiibo cards. They want everything related to it. And so you have this brand new game coming out that's slightly different in formula compared to previous installments, and it's exciting. People want a piece of that.
Unpopular opinion time. And I want both of your opinions on this too, because this is going to be kind of controversial to a certain extent. I don't want Nintendo to put out a bunch of shovelware with an amiibo attached to it just to sell a game. And I'm concerned that that's what Amiibo Festival is going to turn into. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a game that nobody in their right mind would have paid $60 for unless it had like a plastic figure associated with it. So that's my main concern at this point. And the same thing with Chibi Robo. I think it's going to be a great game, but it would not have sold, and it's not on pre-order anywhere except for one website called Nebraska Furniture Mart. It went up. It's not even out for pre-order yet, but people want this game for the Amiibo. You wouldn't in no way, shape, or form see the demand for that game anywhere near where it is right now if it wasn't associated with that adorable, cute little Amiibo that's coming out with it. So I'm hoping that Chibi Robo is good. But even if it's not good, it's going to sell like hotcakes. And I don't want Nintendo to lose their touch with making remarkably well put together, well thought out, designed games just because they can attach an amiibo to it and they know it's going to sell.
Yeah. Well, I think with what we're seeing right now with the quality of games, I'm really not that concerned. I mean, anything Animal Crossing related. I mean, even that app that was available for the Wii for Animal Crossing. What was it called?
It was called the Animal Crossing Plaza.
Yep. Yeah, Animal Crossing Plaza. It's such a tiny idea with very, very basic features on it, but it was beautiful. Everything about it was beautiful. This new Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival game, it's a full-fledged game, even though it's a slightly different formula. And that alone makes me believe that it's going to make it worth it. I don't know much about Chibi Robo. I wish I did, but I have a lot of faith in Nintendo and what it's going to give us.
Jared, your thoughts? Do you think that Nintendo could lose their touch just by throwing a toy, kind of like a Happy Meal?
No, I feel like Nintendo is going to always have that enthusiasm to make the games the best they can be and then put amiibo functionality. But with the case of Amiibo Festival, actually just naming the game Amiibo Festival, I think hurts it in the long run. Instead of focusing on the Animal Crossing aspect of it, just focusing on the amiibo aspect of it, I think hinders it in a way. But when it comes to Chibi Robo and its amiibo functionality, I played the game and I think it's a lot of fun, but I really want the amiibo because of my history with the franchise and being able to play the older games and reminisce on them.
Yeah. And it's a cool looking amiibo too.
Yeah.
So I have to point that out. It's very, very cool looking. Don't think for a second that I'm not going to buy that bundle, because I am going to buy that bundle. It's really cute. I love the little, outlet or the plug that's on top of its head. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think it's going to happen, but I really hope Nintendo is going to make sure the quality of their games are high and not just throw a toy at us in order to get us to buy it.
I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised and pleased with the outcome.
I mean, we're going to get the Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival game anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So we can kind of be the judge of that anyway.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how it's going to sell.
Oh, yeah. It's
going to sell like hotcakes.
Oh, yeah. It's already selling.
So, but that does it for the Amiibo portion of this. Not the Amiibo, excuse me, the Animal Crossing portion. We still have a little bit more Amiibo news because it was just pouring out. At least during this like news dump that Nintendo just kind of gave us. So I'm going to go through a couple things real quick and get your guys' opinions on this at this point too. They announced that the 3-pack of Mii Fighters are coming out on November 1st for $34.99. Another 3-pack.
Yep.
So this 3-pack I get. This 3-pack makes perfect sense to me.
They belong together.
The retro 3-pack makes no sense to me at all. Like I don't get that one bit. But Jared, your thoughts? Another 3-pack. I mean, this is the third 3-pack that we've seen so far. Technically the fourth if you consider Splatoon.
Yeah, well, the Splatoon one, of course, makes sense.
Yeah.
And this one makes complete sense. I don't know. I feel like some of them are done just for marketing purposes. On the case of the retro 3-pack, I don't know if those characters are necessarily unpopular. Like, I feel like they would have sold either way.
Oh, for sure. I think I don't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no.
I think those are 3 of the most popular characters by far.
Yeah.
Mr. Game & Watch, when they announced the extra poses for that, people lost their effing minds on that one. Rob the Robot is so cool. And then Duck Hunt Dog, he's the newcomer to Smash Brothers. I thought for sure that when they announced that thing, that it was totally fake. I thought somebody completely just mocked it up. And when I found out it was real, I'm like, I want that Amiibo so bad.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think these 3 Amiibo are some of the most popular ones in the franchise. For sure. But go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, that one I don't really understand why they had to be bundled. But I think it works because it's putting out 3 popular ones that people would have put in high demand anyway, and then putting them together. But I don't really see the reasoning behind it.
For sure.
Agreed.
Either way, I think, again, in my case, I was going to buy all 3 of these things anyway.
Yeah.
But again, the in-box collector part of me is kind of freaking out that it's going to have a different box than the European and the Japanese region. Still, I think overall, I don't think it's going to be a major deal.
Yeah. It's going to be fine.
So, but that's it for the Mii Fighters. They announced that Mewtwo, thank God they announced a release date for this. Mewtwo is coming to the US on November 13th for $13. They have not announced if it's going to be a retail exclusive. I don't think it's going to be. Please don't be. For the love of God. Maybe if Amazon had it again,
yes.
I'd be happy because Amazon did a bang up job with it.
Then I have to say, we were talking before about Pokemon Amiibo being
Toys R Us. Yeah.
Hey, we had good experiences at Toys R Us.
We did.
So I wouldn't be completely opposed to that. I know.
I just want to click a button and have it sent to my door and I can pick it up in my underwear.
So wait, would you say that Mewtwo is your most anticipated release for November?
No.
No, what is?
What do you think? It's Mega Yarn Yoshi.
Of course. I'm actually a little surprised because you were so excited for Mewtwo.
I was, and I still am. Mewtwo is my favorite Pokemon by far.
Yeah.
It goes Mewtwo, Mew, Pikachu. Those are my top 3. I know there's going to be people out there that's going to be like, oh, that's so cliche. Amiibo Jason, so boring. But no, I mean, Mewtwo is my boy.
Yeah.
Mewtwo is so, like, he is the complete essential piece of my childhood. Yeah. I remember everything about going to see Pokemon the first movie and seeing Mewtwo just towering over Ash and his friends and just thinking that is the most badass Pokemon I've ever seen. But yeah, I am more excited though for this Mega Yarn Yoshi. But I'll get both. I'll get both.
Oh yeah.
But in the Smash series, he is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really can't see Mewtwo being a retailer exclusive, not with the anticipation behind him, and the fact that he's our first DLC Amiibo.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I'm actually really interested to see is what happens when you scan Mewtwo into the game and you haven't downloaded him.
That's a good question.
It is.
I would imagine it would just say that maybe it would like pull up an eShop prompt or something like that. I always thought it would be a good idea that if you could just buy the figure, it would just unlock the DLC. But I guess then people would just, give their friends the figure to like unlock
True.
it. Maybe if it came with a code or something, that would be one way to go about it too. But yeah, that's a good point. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that.
Like, do you think it would really be necessary to have to pay around $20 to use an amiibo instead of just the regular $12.99?
I think at this point that there'd be no way that they could say, okay, we're going to include a code from Mewtwo with this amiibo, because I think way too many people that already purchased the DLC would be upset. So I don't see Nintendo going that route. Honestly, though, I think Nintendo is just going to put an eShop prompt up when you scan it in.
Oh, that makes sense.
So that's the only thing that I can imagine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Nintendo is going to capitalize on DLC in Smash as long as they possibly can.
Yeah.
So, but either way, I'm excited for this one. It's a very, very cool amiibo. It towers over most other amiibo. It the tail is like busting off the back of the base on this one. I could go on and on about Mewtwo. I'm not going to, but just remember he is coming out November 13th. Thank God. And then they announced that Falco is also coming out in November as well, November 20th. Very close. Is that the same day as Star Fox?
Ooh, that is a good question.
I have that somewhere. Star Fox comes out on November 20th. So that's another piece we should talk about too at this point. So Falco is coming out on the 20th, and so is Star Fox for Star Fox Zero for the Wii U. They just released the new box art for it, and there is a shiny amiibo logo in the top right-hand corner. We have no idea what it's going to do, but the fact that Falco is coming out on the same day makes me tingly and happy inside in ways I can't describe. What do you think it's going to do? Jared, what's your thoughts?
I have no clue. I'm actually curious. Well, I don't think it's very probable at this point that we'd actually see a Star Fox line of amiibo launch with the game, since they haven't said anything about it. But yeah, it's a weird concept, because amiibo have been they haven't been consistent game to game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you with this one.
So here's my thoughts at this point. Number one, I think we're going to see a massive Fox restock. So I think that's going to be the first thing we're going to see in November. Fox is going to be in all the stores. I wouldn't be surprised if it would have like a rebranding on somewhere on the box to have like a Star Fox logo somewhere. No idea. Maybe a Star Fox Zero's logo on the back showing that it's compatible with that game. Nintendo hasn't done that in the past, but it could be a way that they could like advertise this AAA title. I'm thinking it's going to have like some sort of customization for like custom R-Wings. I think there's going to be a very cool multiplayer mode, and I've heard rumors that there's going to be like you can customize your ships and you can fly them online with your friends. So I'm hoping that's what we're going to end up seeing with this, and maybe the amiibo is going to unlock like maybe a skin for the R-Wing or some individual part that you couldn't normally get for the R-Wing. So I'm hoping that we're going to see some sort of major customization with these amiibos too. There was also a rumor not too long ago that there was going to be an individual Star Fox amiibo line that you could build like an R-Wing amiibo. And Miyamoto actually at E3 was hinting that this was going to happen at some point. They said that they were messing around with the prototype and they had a complete R-Wing prototype amiibo and they scrapped it. And this was an interview that they did like outside of the Nintendo Direct. So I wish I could like tell you specifically where and when this interview happened, but I definitely remember it. They even had like a little concept picture of what it looked like. But either way, I mean, I think that Star Fox has this really cool opportunity to do really cool things with Amiibo. And for me, I remember Star Fox 64 and how just pivotal that was to me in video gaming in general. So the idea that you could like incorporate like the Amiibo figures into that in some way is just really cool and mind-blowing in my opinion.
Definitely. It really is. I'm not as familiar with the Star Fox series.
What?
I'm sorry. I've been around and I always hear my friends and everything talk about it, but I haven't dove into it myself.
It's very, very cool. And I got to play Star Fox Zero at E3. Did they say this game is going to be playable at PAX?
Ooh, you know what? I'm pretty sure, yes. I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm almost positive it's going to be at PAX too. So if it's at PAX, we're going to get to play it at PAX. And again, we're going to talk about that at the end of the show that we're going to PAX.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait to get my hands on this game again. Yeah, Star Fox Zero is going to be making an appearance. So
Yeah.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
But yeah, that covers the Amiibo stuff. Thank God we made it through. Woo! This was probably the most eventful newscast that we've had in a while, just for the massive amount of content that we've had. But before we go, we always like to end our shows with something called the Amiibo News Speed Round, and we have our voice here right now. So do you want to introduce this for us, the Amiibo News Speed Round?
All right.
Go for it. It's on you, man.
Welcome to the Amiibo News Speed Round.
I need you on for every episode just to do that live, so I don't have to edit it in later. It's just so much more natural this way. So if you're unfamiliar with the speed round, even though it's not even the most speedy thing anymore, we pose questions to our Twitter followers before every newscast that we do, and we try to answer as many as we can, at least the appropriate ones, because there's a lot of inappropriate ones too.
Yes.
So we're going to get pretty much right on top of this right now. So we have Lazy Workaholic, which is a great name, by the way. What are your predictions on the entire Amiibo situation now that there are more Amiibo coming in a few months? So I'm guessing they're thinking as far as the stock goes.
Oh, okay.
So Lauren, what's your opinion?
Honestly, I think we're going to continue seeing good stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just with the continuing of good stock since Nintendo promised us that we were going to get better supplies for retailers, I see it kind of almost picking up over time.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So again, with the Retro 3-pack, I think we're going to see firsthand that Nintendo had listened to its fan base.
Yeah.
Dark Pit, again, that was online for, I think, about an hour, and then most stores had a really good supply. I think a majority of the Amiibos that we're going to see are going to sell out at least after day one. Mm-hmm. But I think for the diehard collectors and the diehard fans, if they want one as long as they get one on the first day or maybe the first few hours, I think they are not going to run into any sort of issues getting these things.
No, I mean, not only are we seeing better stock, but the organization from retailers and even Nintendo is so much better than it was like 5-6 months ago.
And yeah, there was leaked numbers on Dr. Mario for Target, because that's a Target exclusive. And there's plenty of stock on Dr. Mario. Mm-hmm. And we know that Bowser Jr. is going to be a Toys R Us, and if that's any indication on how they handled Greninja, it's going to be fine.
Oh yeah,
at least in my opinion. What about you, Jared?
Yeah, I still remember to the days back when it was like 2 a.m. and it was only on for 13 minutes, and then it was down. Yeah, like wave 3, I think it was oh man, that was a bloodbath. But yeah, Nintendo has obviously really listened to people asking for more stock on Amiibos, and they've definitely taken it into consideration. Like you said, with the Retro 3-pack, that's been up for quite some time now. So I think we're heading in the right direction as far as stock goes.
So we're going to move on to our second question, and this is coming from Samuel Collinsworth. Why are there Amiibo exclusives here in the United States rather than Europe and Japan? And that's a question that we've tried to answer a few times on this cast as well. Every region is different. And Lauren is going to be the first person to tell you that Nintendo is a business.
Yep.
Nintendo of America is a business, blah, blah, blah.
It's run very differently here, and the relationships that Nintendo has with retailers is it's very American. And I'm saying that because we see this in everyday life, like with TV. With TV, we have a lot more commercials than other countries do. In fact, America gets made fun of for having so many commercials, for really pushing. There are more commercials out there than actual meaty content with television and movies. There's just so much. I don't know the exact percentages, but it's borderline ridiculous. That said, we have a very different relationship with I guess the business world, and that's just to me. It's very evident in all the exclusives we have. The exclusives are kind of like representative of how a major corporation like Nintendo needs to kind of get its hands in very different outlets. And that's how it makes its money here. That's the way business is run in America.
I still hate them. Jared, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, Lauren couldn't have said it any better. It's just, it really makes sense to make them exclusives on a business standpoint, because that way, there's an even higher demand for them.
Yeah.
As if there could be.
As if yeah. It's very smart.
it really adds to the collector side of things and really makes people want them, knowing that they're exclusive to a certain store.
We are a consumer-driven society.
That's
what it boils down to.
As long as they're stocked, I have no issue with it. But Rosalina was a nightmare. At least it wasn't for me because there was a blizzard that day and I was the only person crazy enough to go out and get it. But Rosalina was a nightmare, for God's sakes. Ness was a nightmare. Ness was a disaster. There was like 1 or 2 per store, for God's sakes. That was ridiculous. But as long as we're going to see the trend that we've seen now, so Dr. Mario is going to be in good supply. The Retro 3-pack is insanely well supplied. Bring them on. Yeah. Bring on the retail exclusives. It's fine with me at that point. So this next question I got to answer because this is just going to give me a little bit of credit what I was saying before. So Luis David Rodriguez said, do you think there's any chance that Nintendo of America will release Amiibo and the Animal Crossing 3-pack individually? I only want KK. So I had to bring this one up because
of
Lauren,
course you did.
You didn't believe me that people just want KK.
No, I do believe you.
They just want KK.
I believe you. But I'm also saying that this is a very specific community on Twitter who was talking about wanting KK. You have a lot of other people out there who love Reese and Cyrus. I've seen the fan art. I know that they're out there.
Yeah.
Go on Instagram, go on DeviantArt, and they're there.
So we've already touched on this one a little bit more, so we're not going to go too much into this at this point. So we're going to do one more question here, and let's pick one at random here. Let's do you think we'll see a Mario Party Wave 2 Amiibo anytime soon? That's a great question. There are Amiibo missing from the Mario Party line that a lot of people kind of anticipated would come out. Waluigi, where he at?
True.
Wario, where's he at?
Yeah. And are we going to get a Rosalina version of that one? I know I've seen a mock-up for it floating around online quite a bit.
Yeah, the mock-ups, because all the Amiibo have mock-ups in the game Mario Party 10.
Yeah.
So if you play the Amiibo mode on Mario Party 10, you can see what it would look like on the red stand.
Yeah.
I don't think it's coming.
Oh, I would love to see another one made.
Oh, man,
Go ahead.
No, sorry, I cut you off.
I was just going to say that I would love to see one. I think it's her without Luma this time.
Yeah.
And I would like to see Rosalina by herself in another slightly different pose.
Yeah.
It would be great. But yeah, go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, oh man, this one I really, really hope they make the second wave because Rosalina and Waluigi are amazing, and we need a Waluigi amiibo like really bad. Either that or Add 'em to Smash Bros. One of the two.
Oh yeah, I like that idea too.
Here's the hard fact at this point. Mario Party 10 kind of I don't want to say it totally crashed and burned.
Is it irrelevant right now?
It pretty much flopped. More or less.
Did it really flop?
I don't think flop and a Nintendo first party title are difficult to put into like the same sentence.
Yes.
But it did not sell anywhere near at least what I thought it was going to sell. I saw Amiibo bundles on the shelf for that game for months after that game came out. People wanted the Amiibo portion of it, but they didn't really care about the game itself. And for good reason. That was, in my opinion, my least favorite Mario Party game that's come out in recent memory.
There was a much worse Mario Party game, and I'm trying to think. I want to say it was 6 or 7.
Oh no, 7 was so good.
No, it was funny because I had a bad experience with one of the games, and it might have been 6 because I know I went to GameStop, and as we were checking out, the employee told us, "Don't get this game. get the one after it instead. You're going to enjoy it so much better." We actually went back that day and exchanged it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think we're going to see a Series 2 on this. Nintendo has their hands full with so many other lines and more popular games that are going to be coming out.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo would rather direct people to Yoshi's Woolly World, and they would rather direct people to Star Fox Zero, rather than say, okay, let's step back and have you purchase, Mario Party 10.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just the Amiibo packages don't actually say Mario Party on them, do they?
They don't.
They just say Mario?
They do. They just say Super Mario Brothers.
Then I feel if there's some other random Mario title that gets released, they could just release those as Mario figures, not necessarily for Mario Party.
Like Mario Power Tennis?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, that's actually a really, really good example.
Just throw a racket in Mario's hand, take the fireball out, put a racket in his hand, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
You have a whole new amiibo, and people are going to buy it.
It's as easy as that.
It is. But that does it for the speed round. Before we go, though, Lauren and I wanted to announce real quick our plans for PAX. We're going to be on the Settle It in Smash PAX panel that is coming up Saturday, the 29th of August at 7 p.m. at PAX Prime. We are super excited. If you want to know more about the event, we're going to have an article on NintendoInquirer.com soon, but we are going to be having a blast talking Amiibo and Super Smash Brothers at PAX.
Yes, so if you're in that area, please come check us out. We'd love to hear from you.
Oh, man. We're on a panel.
I know. It's
so weird.
It's weird. It's surreal, but I love it.
I don't even know what I'm going to talk about.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll wing it. And honestly, we are having a blast doing this. We're already going to be on episode 20 next week, which is really, really fun to think about at this point.
Monumental.
I think we should probably do a episode from PAX. I think that would be a blast.
Oh, that's a good idea. We did one from E3.
We did.
So that makes sense.
But yeah, episode 20 is coming up. You guys stuck with us. Amiibo News has blossomed into something we never really anticipated it would. So we wanted to thank a few people. We wanted to thank our fans, and we really wanted to really thank Jared while he's here right now. You are such a huge part of the show, and having you on and having you as the voice every time we start up an episode is amazingly cool. So thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you for being such a big part of Amiibo News.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It really is. It's fantastic to be able to be on the show.
So for those who don't know what an amazing voice actor you are, where can people find you and get more information about you?
All right. So you can find me on Twitter at Jared_Ruthledge, or you can find my email and phone number on there if you want to contact me as well.
Rock and roll.
Excellent.
Thank you so much again. And Lauren, what about you? Where can we find you?
You can find me over in my sugary corner at Happily Candied on Twitter.
Sugary corner?
I have
Where
been...
did that come from?
It's candy. I'm all about the candy.
Is that a catchphrase I didn't know yet?
That's one I made up on the spot. That's how good I am.
I like that. Sugary corner.
It's a sugary corner, and that's my world. I live and breathe sugar.
Somebody Photoshop a sugary corner
No.
with her in it. I need to see that.
You know what it is? It's going to be me huddled with like lollipops and donuts and ice cream cones, because that's basically what I eat all day, every day.
I don't know how you do that. It's outrageous to me.
It's delicious.
I'd rather have a
cannot
burger.
help it. Nah.
All right, so when you're done checking out her sugary corner, you can find me at my Twitter page at AmiiboJason. Obviously, we also have our Twitter page at Amiibo News. That's where you're going to see a majority of our in-stock alerts and our, obviously, Amiibo-related news. NintendoInquirer.com is our website. We have a massive heap of Nintendo-related information there. We have our podcasts, which are streaming there as well. Obviously, you can check out our podcast directly there or on iTunes. You're listening to this now, so you obviously know how to find us there, so that's fine. We're going to be at PAX coming up in a couple days, so check us out there as well. So thank you very, very much for listening to episode 19. You sat through over an hour of us blabbing about Amiibo.
Bless your heart.
So thank you guys very much. We're going to be back very soon, as early as next week, with episode 20. So have a good morning or a good evening, depending on when you're listening to this, and we'll see you soon.
Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yay.